In a quiet corner of a forgotten town, an old wooden house stands guard. Its windows, like tired, clouded eyes, have watched 60 years pass. Inside, Margaret sits, the fading light caressing her wrinkled hands. She's been here so long, the house has become a part of her. It breathes when she breathes, its walls creaking, its floors sighing in a language only she understands. Every night, without fail, the living room clock freezes at 2:17 a.m. The silence that follows is a physical weight, a suffocating blanket. And every night, Margaret wakes at that exact moment. Tonight, a storm rages outside, its thunder a low groan over the hills. She clutches her shawl, a cold dread seeping into her bones. She tells herself it's just the storm, but she knows. She can feel it. That low hum vibrating from within the walls. That whisper that isn't just the wind. "Stop it," she murmurs into the empty air, her gaze fixed on the dark hallway. "You're not real." But something disagrees. A shadow flits across the dim lamplight. A chair in the far corner creaks. A slow, deliberate sound that makes the hair on her arms stand up. Her heart hammers against her ribs. "Who's there?" she asks, her voice a trembling thread. Only the relentless drumming of rain answers. Mustering her courage, she rises. Her cane taps a hollow rhythm on the floorboards. The house feels wrong tonight, distorted. The hallway seems to stretch on forever, an impossible corridor lined with ghosts of the past. Old photographs stare back at her. Her husband, gone for decades. Her daughter, forever 6 years old, her smile frozen in time. As her trembling fingers brush against the glass of her daughter's portrait, a flicker of movement in the reflection catches her eye. Something small, still, watching from behind her. She spins around, but the hallway is empty. The air turns icy, thick enough to choke on. The lamp above flickers once, twice, and dies, plunging her into near darkness. All that remains is the steady tick-tock of the clock. And then, at 2:17, silence. "No, not tonight," she pleads with the darkness. Her plea is answered by a faint, chilling giggle from the end of the hall. A child's laugh, but broken, warped. A name escapes her lips, a secret buried for half a century. Anna, as if summoned. The door at the end of the hall, a door that hasn't been opened in 50 years, slowly creaks open. A silent invitation. Drawn by a force she can't resist, Margaret steps forward, each footstep a deafening thunderclap in the oppressive quiet. Inside the room, time has stood still. A small bed, a dusty music box, a doll with a cracked face. It's a shrine to a memory she tried to bury. Without thinking, her hand reaches out and winds the music box. The melody starts, sweet and familiar, before twisting into a discordant, screeching nightmare. The notes bend and warp, a sound of pure agony. Her breath comes in ragged gasps. The lone candle on a small table sputters, its flame dancing wildly, casting monstrous, leaping shadows on the peeling wallpaper. She grips the bedpost to steady herself, her eyes scanning the corners of the room. And then she sees it. In the deepest shadow, a faint outline begins to form. The shape of a small child, standing utterly still, facing her. The figure sways, but the air in the room is dead calm. "Please," Margaret whispers, tears blurring her vision. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave you." The room plunges into an impossible cold. The music box grinds to a halt, and then a voice, so small, so close it feels like it's inside her own head, whispers directly in her ear. "You never left." Margaret gasps, spinning around to find nothing. She catches her reflection in the cracked window pane, and a scream lodges in her throat. The face staring back is hers, but its lips move out of sync. Slower, forming words she isn't speaking. She stumbles backward, clutching her chest, a desperate, strangled sound escaping her. A sharp scrape from behind her makes her jump. The doll. It has fallen from the bed and now lies on the floor, its glass eyes staring up at her. One eye is cracked, the other is just a dark, empty socket. She can't breathe. The air is being squeezed from her lungs. The whisper returns, laced with a sorrow that could shatter worlds. "You said you'd stay." Margaret's legs give out and she collapses to her knees. Sobs rack her body as the room around her begins to flicker and tear like an old burning film reel. Through her tears, she looks up into the darkness. "I never meant to leave you, Anna," she chokes out. A faint hum answers, the voice fading like smoke into the sound of the rain. "Then why did you?" A final deafening crash of thunder shakes the house to its foundations. The candle dies, and the world goes black. Morning arrives, serene and gray. Margaret is back in her chair by the window, her shawl pulled tight. The storm has passed, but the storm inside her has just begun. On the table beside her teacup, there's another cup, one she didn't put there. It's filled halfway with cold tea. She stares at it, her expression unreadable. From the other room, the clock ticks softly. The time is 2:17. As she slowly closes her eyes, a familiar tune drifts from down the hall, the broken melody of the music box playing a soft, distorted lullaby. And then a whisper, almost tender, curls through the air. "Good night, Mama." Margaret doesn't answer. A weak, sorrowful smile touches her lips and her eyes glisten in the cold morning light. If this story sent a chill down your spine, don't forget to like, subscribe. The morning light creeps across the old wooden floor, dust dancing in the pale glow. I haven't slept. My teacup sits untouched, the steam long gone. The other cup, the one I didn't pour, still rests beside it. I keep glancing at it, afraid to move it, afraid it might vanish or worse, refill itself. Outside, the town is waking up. I can hear the distant church bells, the sound of children laughing on their way to school. But inside my house, time feels slow, heavy, reluctant to pass. The old clock is ticking steady again, no longer stopping at 2:17, but I find myself listening for it, hoping it might. I rise carefully, my knees trembling, and walk to my daughter's old room. The door is half open, just as I left it last night. The air inside is colder than the rest of the house. The music box sits on the shelf where I remember placing it, but now it's wound tight again, already playing that twisted lullaby. I don't touch it. My reflection in the cracked mirror beside the bed looks smaller, frailer, almost younger. "Anna," I whisper, my voice barely audible. "Was it really you?" There's no answer, only that faint, chilling melody filling the air like a cold fog. I open the window, needing to breathe. The cold air rushes in, carrying the faint scent of rain and old soil. It's a smell that takes me back, to the day I lost her, the accident, the screaming, the terrible, deafening silence that followed. I shake my head, trying to push it away, but memory is a cruel thing. It always arrives uninvited. In the glass, I see a flash of the past, a small red shoe lying on wet pavement, my own trembling hands reaching out, and then darkness. I gasp, stumbling back from the window. The reflection seems to linger a second longer than it should. The hallway groans again. Footsteps, light, playful, echo across the floorboards. I grip my cane tighter. "Not again," I whisper to the empty air. But the steps continue, circling me, quick and soft, like a child running just out of sight. Then the laughter returns, quiet, echoing, distant but near enough to make my heart ache with a grief I thought I had buried. "Anna," I call out, my voice breaking. The sound stops, the air shifts. The smell of wet soil grows stronger, more distinct. I follow the feeling, the unseen trail, toward the living room. The curtains are drawn, yet sunlight still sneaks through, casting long, pale lines across the floor. And there, in the center of the room, is a single, small, wet footprint. Then another, and another, leading straight toward me. I stumble back, my breath fogging in front of my face even though the room isn't cold enough for that. "You're not real," I murmur, trying to convince myself. "You can't be." A whisper replies, so gentle but sharp as broken glass. "You promised you wouldn't leave." The lights flicker violently. The clock's ticking stops. 2:17. I turn to look at it, and its hands begin to twist backward, the gears grinding with a sound like a dying breath. "Please stop," I cry out, covering my ears. But when I open my eyes, everything is still. The clock, the light, the very air itself. Frozen. And in the silence, I hear it. The faint, distorted hum of the music box from down the hall. My steps are slow, hesitant. Each creak of the floor echoes too loudly, like a second set of footsteps following me. I reach her door and see it's slightly ajar again. The melody warps, the notes stretching and snapping until it sounds less like a lullaby and more like distant screams hidden beneath the tune. I push the door open. The small room looks darker, smaller, like it's been waiting for me. The bed is unmade. The doll is gone. And in its place sits the second teacup, filled now with something black and still steaming. My voice shakes as I ask the empty room, "What do you want from me?" The room answers first with silence, then with a breath, a soft, cold breath right behind my ear. "You said you'd never forget me." I spin around. No one's there, but the shadows in the corners seem to move on their own, forming the fleeting outline of small hands reaching toward me. My vision blurs. I stumble backward, knocking against the shelf. The music box falls, but it doesn't shatter. It doesn't stop. It keeps playing from the floor, louder now, faster, more frantic. I cover my ears again, tears streaming down my face. "Stop! Please stop!" The candle on the dresser flares violently and then goes out, plunging the room into absolute darkness. Then, in the dark, I hear it. The soft hum of my daughter's voice, singing her lullaby. Not the distorted version this time, but the real one. The one I used to sing to her every night to help her sleep. The sound breaks me. I fall to my knees on the cold floor. "I never wanted to forget," I sob. I thought forgetting would make it hurt less." Her voice replies, trembling, childlike, but so very distant. "You can't forget what's still here." The air grows colder, my breath a thick white plume in the blackness. The shadows fade, and for a moment, the room feels empty again. Truly empty. The teacup on the floor is gone. The music box is finally silent. Only I remain, kneeling alone in the dark. I open my eyes slowly, finding myself back in the armchair by the window. Bright morning sunlight touches my face. The clock on the mantelpiece ticks normally, rhythmically. Everything looks just as it was before. Unchanged. But I feel different. Heavy, as if I'm carrying someone else's memories alongside my own. Then I notice something new. On the small table beside me, where the two teacups had been, now sit two framed photographs. One is of me as a child. The other is of Anna. But the photo, it's recent. The girl in the picture looks older now, maybe 10 or 12. I tremble, my hand reaching for it. "That can't be," I whisper. The picture smiles faintly back at me, her eyes glimmering with a quiet, impossible life. The clock ticks once, a single, sharp sound. 2:17. Night settles heavy over this small town. Inside the old house, the air feels still, like the world is holding its breath. I'm sitting by the window, watching the rain fall, the glass fogging from my slow, trembling breath. In the reflection, I see myself. Older, fragile, alone. But for a split second, behind my own reflection, the faint outline of someone else seems to move. I turn quickly. The old rocking chair behind me sways once, then stops. Empty. My heart thuds against my ribs. I try to calm myself down. "It's just the wind," I whisper, "but the air in here doesn't move at all." The candle beside me flickers, but there's no draft. Shadows stretch along the wall, long and dark like they're alive, searching for the frantic rhythm of my heartbeat. Then, I hear it. Somewhere deep in the hallway, the floor creaks. One step, then another, slow and deliberate. I stand up, my knees shaking so badly I have to clutch the back of the chair to keep my balance. I hold my breath and listen. Silence. And then, the whisper again. So soft, it's almost kind. Don't leave me. The voice is faint but chillingly familiar. It's a child's voice. I close my eyes, tears trembling on my lashes as a name I haven't spoken in years escapes my lips like a buried secret. Lydia? I breathe. The whisper answers back, closer this time, right from the hallway. I waited, Mama. My heart races. It can't be. But I have to know. I follow the sound through the narrow hall, my hand brushing against the old wallpaper. It curls and peels under my touch, as if time itself is rotting away in this house. Each step I take echoes softly, perfectly in rhythm with the ticking of the old grandfather clock somewhere behind me. I reach my daughter's old room. The door, untouched for years, stands slightly ajar. A faint, cold, bluish light glows from within. It's an unnatural light. I push the door open slowly, and the air grows colder, a deep chill that sinks into my bones. Dust motes float like mist in the beam of my candle. Inside, the room looks just as Lydia left it. The small bed is neatly made, and that little doll she loved sits upright on the pillow, its painted smile seeming to mock me from the shadows. My breath catches in my throat when I see the music box on the table. It's already open. It's spinning by itself, playing that same lullaby I used to hum to her every night. The melody fills the air, a ghostly tune from a forgotten time. How? I whisper, taking a hesitant step closer. The candle in my hand flickers wildly, casting long, dancing shadows that twist on the walls. And that's when I see it. For just a moment, a shape moves on the wall. It looks like a child standing beside the window, her head tilted, just watching the rain outside. But as quickly as it appeared, the figure fades. My eyes dart across the room. It's empty, still, silent, except for that haunting melody. I kneel beside the music box, my fingers tracing the faded paint. Lydia, my love. Is that you? I ask softly, my voice barely a whisper. The melody slows, and from the darkness right behind me, a whisper replies, sharp and cold. You left me. The candlelight shudders, nearly dying out completely. I gasp and turn around, my heart pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. The old rocking chair in the corner begins to move, slow, steady, creaking in a perfect, horrifying rhythm with my own heartbeat. I didn't leave you, I say, my lips trembling. You went away. You were gone. The whisper grows sharper now, filled with an ancient sorrow. No one leaves here, Mama. No one ever leaves. The sound of small, bare footsteps begins to circle me, soft as rain on glass. I'm so terrified, I drop the candle. It rolls across the floor, the flame flickering, barely alive. Shadows spin along the walls, stretching and twisting into grotesque shapes I can't recognize. And then a handprint appears on the dusty window from the inside. Small, a child's handprint. I back away until my trembling hand finds the cold wall. My breathing grows shallow, ragged. I feel a sudden warmth brush against my arm. A soft touch, like a child's hand reaching out for me. My eyes widen in terror and grief. I whisper her name again, a desperate plea. Lydia. A faint giggle answers me, and then complete silence. The candle flame dies completely, plunging the room into absolute darkness. In the pitch black, the lullaby begins again, but this time it's not coming from the music box. It's being hummed right behind my ear. I squeeze my eyes shut. You're not real, I choke out. The whisper replies, so gentle it's cruel. Then why are you crying? I stumble toward the door, my hands fumbling in the dark for the light switch. I flick it, but nothing happens. I can barely see, but I can sense her. I can sense the outline of a child standing near the dresser, her head tilted in that same curious way. A sudden flash of lightning illuminates the room for a split second, and I see her. I see her clearly. Pale skin, hollow, empty eyes, a faint, broken smile on her lips. Then darkness swallows everything again. My knees buckle. I collapse to the floor, whispering prayers under my breath, words I haven't said in years. The whisper fades away into the groaning and creaking of the old house. The wind finally stirs, blowing through the open window, carrying away what little warmth remained. I stay there on the floor, my face buried in my shaking hands, whispering over and over again, "You were never alone. You were never alone." Thunder rolls far in the distance, a mournful echo, and somewhere in the darkness of this house the rocking chair keeps moving, back and forth, slow and steady, even though no one is sitting in it. And I know it will never, ever stop. Thank you for watching. If you were as captivated by this story as I was, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the unknown. Until next time, stay safe. Morning arrives, but it doesn't quite reach the corners of the house. Light struggles through the half-drawn curtains, illuminating dust motes dancing in the cold air. The rain has stopped, but a damp silence clings to the walls, a memory of the storm. I wake on the floor of my daughter's room, the old music box beside me. Its lid is shut, but the tune persists in my head. A soft, repeating loop, endless. Slowly, I push myself up. My hands tremble. The air feels heavy today, thicker than usual. I whisper to myself, just a dream, but I know better. This house doesn't dream, it remembers. I look down the hallway. The shadows seem different, lighter, almost welcoming. In the distance, a sound breaks the quiet. The grandfather clock begins to chime. Once, twice, and then again and again. But that's impossible. It hasn't worked in years. A strange strength finds me. I stand, my back straightening for the first time in what feels like an eternity. "Lydia," I say, the name a soft breath in the still air. And the house seems to listen. From downstairs, the kettle begins to whistle, but I never turned it on. I walk towards the stairs, each step a familiar creak beneath my slippers. My reflection flickers across the framed photos on the wall. My family, my past, my mistakes. In the kitchen, steam curls from the kettle's spout like a ghostly breath. I turn off the stove, but the whistling doesn't stop. The sound contorts, twisting into something else. A faint, desperate crying. I freeze. The sound grows sharper, echoing through the pipes, vibrating through the very walls of the house. It's coming from the basement. For years, I've kept that door locked, a barrier against what lies beneath. Now, it stands slightly ajar. A cold, wet draft touches my face like something breathing on me. "I can't," I whisper, but my feet have a will of their own. I take a candle from the counter, its flame a tiny point of courage in my trembling hand, and start down the stairs. The wooden steps groan under my weight. Water drips somewhere in the dark. The air is thick with the smell of rust and damp earth. As I reach the bottom, the candle flame bends, pulled by an unseen current. I lift it higher, peering into the oppressive gloom. In the far corner, a small rocking chair moves on its own, a slow, rhythmic back and forth. On its seat rests the doll from Lydia's room. Its glass eyes catch the candlelight, reflecting it like two tiny, cold stars. "Lydia," I say again, my voice breaking on her name. "Why are you here?" A whisper answers from the darkness. "You forgot me." The flame wavers, threatening to go out. "No," I say, shaking my head. "I buried you. I can't finish." The words are caught in my throat. The whisper returns, closer now. You left before I said goodbye. Tears streamed down my face, hot against my cold skin. I couldn't, I sob. It hurt too much. The doll's head turns slightly. The rocking stops. A profound silence descends, heavier than before. Then, slowly, a child's shadow appears against the basement wall. Small, fragile, and utterly still. The shadow's hand reaches out toward me. I hesitate for a heartbeat, then stretch my trembling fingers toward it. The air between us feels like ice. The moment our hands meet, the candle extinguishes. We're plunged into total darkness. But in that blackness, the voice is no longer a whisper. It's gentle, calm. You can rest now, Mama. A sudden warmth floods the room, floods my very soul. I feel light, almost weightless. Brief flashes of memory flicker behind my eyes. My husband's easy laughter, my daughter running through the sun-drenched yard, golden light spilling through the kitchen window. The images are bright and beautiful, like a forgotten home movie. When I open my eyes again, the basement is empty. The chair is still. The doll lies fallen on the floor, its porcelain face cracked. The house above me feels quiet, peaceful. I climb the stairs, and each step is lighter than the last. In the hallway, I notice the wallpaper looks fresh. The air smells of a new morning. My reflection in the hall mirror is different, younger, softer, at peace. I touch my cheek, and a faint smile forms on my lips. The clock ticks once, a steady, living beat. I walk to my favorite chair by the window and sit. Outside, sunlight cuts through the trees and birds are singing. For the first time in years, the house feels warm. Then, softly, the music box begins to play upstairs. It's not haunting or broken anymore. It's just a gentle lullaby, whole and complete. I close my eyes and listen, a real smile finally gracing my face. "Thank you, Lydia," I whisper. The world feels calm, timeless. Inside, the old chair rocks once more. The teacup beside it steams faintly, though no one is there to drink it. The clock chimes one last time, soft, final, like a heartbeat fading into silence. As the last note of the lullaby ends, a gentle wind drifts through the curtains, carrying a whisper only the house can hear. No one is ever truly alone. Thank you for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content. It helps our community grow. Until next time.